Welcome to 360 Sports Baseball Edition. We are just 1 week away from the best day of the year. Not Christmas, not Halloween. It's opening day. I know the season already started in Japan, but for 28 other teams, it's the start of something new, something great, and we are very excited to get things underway. But let's talk about the games that have been completed. The 2 games in Tokyo, the Dodgers obviously winning them both, 4-1 and 6-3. What are your thoughts, guys?
I mean, are we surprised by the results?
No.
Yeah, so Dodgers were expected to beat the Cubs. I honestly thought Kyle Tucker's, he's on the, I almost said Dodgers, he's on the Cubs. Yeah, he's on the Cubs now, and he was a star on the Astros. He was up there. And I mean, I thought he was going to give them a run for his money, but he did get his first RBI and hit of the season and for the Cubs, and I think there's going to be a lot more coming with that. Hopefully he has a really good season with the Cubs. Ohtani and Roki Sasaki went back to Japan. They showed them we're still good. You can root for us. We got it still. I do want to point out, though, it's been swarming everywhere, the controversy of Ohtani's home run, which...
Oh, that wasn't a home run.
No, that was 100% not a home run.
That wasn't a home run. That was a home run because it's Shohei Ohtani in the Tokyo Dome, and they called it a home run.
You can see in the video, the fan is reaching over the banister.
Yeah.
When you go on I think it was a left angle, right angle, inverted, and you could see his hands over the banister.
Yeah, it absolutely should have been called a double.
That was Kyle Tucker's.
Yeah.
It was either going to be a catch or a double at most, and... I don't know what happened, if it's just a fix, or, everyone has their theories.
This isn't the NFL, all right?
Everyone has their theories.
Yeah, but we'll talk about the other Dodger of note, Roki Sasaki, making his debut. He looked good, got some control issues to work over, 5 walks in 3 innings. What do you guys think about him?
I mean, I thought Sasaki looked pretty good for, obviously his debut. I think these Japan games are really, really good for the MLB. And baseball is sort of that sport, I feel like, that can take the next step and become the next worldwide thing. Right. I mean, we see how popular soccer is. Baseball, guys like Ohtani, he's so big for the game, and I just love watching these international games, and I think they need more of them, and I think they will continue to put them in because, we're getting a lot of great players from internationally, and they're just really fun games to watch.
What do you think, Gabby?
Yeah, I thought Roki Sasaki's debut was pretty good. Everyone was kind of concerned about how he would play now on an MLB team instead of still in Japan, but I thought he showed them that he can still play. He can play in the majors. He'll be fine. There will be some rocky hits, but he's a rookie, so he'll get over them.
And he's 21 years old.
Yeah, he's young.
This is unprecedented for a Japanese rookie because normally they spend 5-6 years playing in the Japan League, and then they come over to MLB when they're 28, 29. But Roki Sasaki, he is 21 years old, and I think this is the Shohei Ohtani effect. And you're going to see more and more Japanese players coming over to the U.S. And I think it's great for baseball. Obviously, Japan, Japan has their high school baseball championships nationally televised. They love baseball, but it's great to expand the game internationally, like when they go to London. And there were plans to put games in Paris; those fell through. But if you look at the World Baseball Classic, you have countries like the Czech Republic are in the next World Baseball Classic because baseball is getting, like you said, baseball is getting to be that international level, and it's not quite at soccer levels yet, but I would say number 2 in the world for, at least for American mainstream sports, it's baseball.
I do want to point out also that both teams' starting pitchers were definitely shaky. Sasaki only pitched 3 innings, and he got lucky, only getting 1 run in. And Justin Steele of the Cubs only lasted 4 innings and allowed 5 hits, 5 runs, 2 home runs. He struck out 5, okay, but at the same time, it did damage for the Cubs. And honestly, the hitting with the Dodgers is what saved Kiki Hernandez, Shohei Ohtani, the all-star lineup on the Dodgers, basically.
Yeah. The National League All-Stars is going to be the Dodgers and Juan Soto. So.
Yeah, I also think it's good to point out that they were without Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts. Mm-hmm. Mookie Betts, they said, was sick, and Freddie Freeman was scratched in the lineup, and they still were able to beat a Cubs team. They're not the best, but they do have Kyle Tucker. They have Justin Steele, like they have Dansby Swanson, they have names, and like they were able to beat them even without 2 of their all-stars. So I think that's another thing to point out as well.
But then again, I think just shows us like the Dodgers are on another level in the National League.
Yeah.
I think that's without Mookie Betts, and they obviously this is the start of the year, so there's a little bit of rust, but they still played really good baseball. I can't get over Shohei Ohtani because everyone's already talking about him all the time, but you go to the sports like the NFL, you talk about, is Patrick Mahomes the greatest quarterback of all time? People before the Super Bowl were ready to give him that crown, even though he has, 4 less Super Bowls than Tom Brady? And Shohei Ohtani is one of those athletes where he's so young, and you could look at him right now and say, I think this is the best baseball player ever. And I think he just shows up in all of the biggest moments. Opening day at MLB, he hits whether it's a home run or not, we're not going to argue that, but he hits a home run. The World Cup, the World Baseball thing, he struck out Mike Trout in the biggest moment. Every time there's a big game, he shows up. He already has a World Series, so I can't get enough of Shohei Ohtani, to be honest.
Yeah, and Shohei's a great talent. Would I call him the greatest player of all time yet? No, not yet. I think by the end of his career, he will be. But I think what you brought up with the Dodgers and their depth is a perfect transition into our next segment. The Dodgers obviously have a lot of depth. We look at a team that has lacked depth for years. The New York Yankees losing Garrett Cole for the 2025 season with Tommy John surgery, and now they also have Luis Gil out. Their rotation, what do you guys think?
I cried, I'm not going to lie, when I found out that Garrett Cole needed Tommy John surgery because I enjoy watching him. I've enjoyed watching him since he joined the Yankees. And honestly, I will say for the team itself, they've been through this before. They've experienced major injuries before. I think Garrett Cole is going to take a toll on the team with pitching wise, but that's depending if everyone decides to be like, okay, Garrett Cole's out, he's our best pitcher on the team. Let's step it up and not be mediocre. Because Stroman and Rondon were really scaring me last season, and Clark Schmidt has been getting injured, so that's scary. Luis Gil, he's probably out till May. Hopefully he comes back in May, maybe earlier. And you can't just put your eggs in on one basket for Max Fried. He's coming in, he's great, we love it, but you can't be like, all right, you take the wheel, basically. And for Giancarlo Stanton, who's also injured probably till May or June, it's dumb to say, but it feels like every time he's out, the Yankees are on the losing streak. Right. Because last season, when he was out in August, they wanted to have a 6 to 8 win-loss streak.
But that's the Yankees in August. That's their modus operandi.
But that
every
was
August
with Juan Soto and Aaron Judge. How did that take a toll on the batting?
Yeah.
Even if both Stan and Luis Gil come back at the same time, they're going to be rusty. It's not going to really
It's intimidation. It's the intimidation factor of Giancarlo Stanton that makes pitching to us that much more dangerous.
Especially
He's not the best
if they face the Dodgers with 3 of their best players out.
Right.
Lord have mercy for us Yankee fans.
Look, the rotation is probably going to be Stroman number 4, Will Warren number 5. Will Warren,
Stroman's opening.
No, Rodanes.
Rodanes. I'm confusing both.
Stroman's number 4 and Will Warren's number 5. And Will Warren, terrible in the regular season last year, has looked pretty good in spring training. But one thing I think was interesting for the Yankees, if you look at last year, Garrett Cole missed the first 2.5 months of the season.
Yeah.
And he had an ERA of, the Yankees had the team ERA of 3.01, best in baseball. He comes back, it's a 4.37, 12th worst. So they pitched great without him last season. They did what you said, step it up. But
they need to do it again this time because he's out for the entire season.
Yeah, I think the entire the Yankees did pretty good in those couple months that he was gone. They started, until he came back in June, they were 50-24. They were first in the AL East. And then, as you saw, as he came back, I don't want to say, went down because they still went all the way to the World Series, but, you could definitely see a shift.
Yeah.
There's a player coming off of an injury. You could see that they're hesitant with him, all that kind of stuff. But I feel like he's out for the whole season now, so like you said, that someone definitely has to step up, or a whole team has to step up. But I also feel like something will be fine. You know what I mean?
Look, I think the Yankees are cooked. I'm going to be honest. It's really hard to go into a season with this many injuries. Garrett Cole now having to get Tommy John is just, that's a huge blow. And now, obviously their division's not great. The Red Sox, I'm expecting to be better this year. But it just seems like they're going to be losing some games. All right, you're missing your ace. You're missing Giancarlo Stanton. You're missing other players. It just doesn't seem like. I mean, last year the Yankees went to the World Series. Obviously, it wasn't for that derailing 5th inning. Who knows what happens? But again, like I can't see them without the perfect circumstance. Going deep into the playoffs, and this is not the perfect circumstance. So I just don't see the Yankees. I think this is going to derail their entire season.
Yeah, I don't think it'll derail the season. I think they'll still make the playoffs, and they'll finish second. I think I have the Red Sox winning the division. One thing that could happen, Aaron Judge looks around in the Yankee dugout, doesn't see Stanton, doesn't see Cole. He's like, all right, time to put this team on my back, and goes absolutely nuclear. He is a dad this season, so dad strength maybe finally gets him another 60 home run season, but we'll see.
Yeah, but like derailing,
yeah.
I mean, they're probably going to get in the playoffs regardless. Right. But the reality is for the Yankees, it's World Series or bust. Exactly. And so this is not going to be a World Series year, in my opinion. So in my opinion, like it's a waste of a year.
Or do we think it'd be like more like 2023 where Aaron Judge got hurt and then the Yankees just kind of went all the way down the deep end, so another star player is gone?
I think it's gonna be like I don't want to say this because I love Aaron Judge, but it might be like affecting him like performance-wise if the lineup has. Like, hypothetically, if Stan wasn't injured and he was in, they would probably have him bat right after Judge because Juan Soto batted before Judge, and it was like, oh, momentum's great, motivation. But they have to have someone just as good as Stan batting after Judge, or before Judge. So that momentum's there for the Yankees, and it's just like, on your feet, let's see what happens.
Well, let's talk about teams that are gaining momentum. Isabella, we'll start with you.
All right.
What are some teams that could surprise in 2025?
Okay, so that's the wrong pick.
Oh, I guess
Really?
I'm up first.
Who told me I was first?
So, my pick, I feel like, is a really big sleeper pick that nobody seems to be talking about. So I got the Arizona Diamondbacks. I am a Phillies fan. I was very sad when they upset us in the NLCS and went to the World Series. I thought we were the better team, but look, they caught fire. And now they're back 2 years later, and their biggest signing was Corbin Burns. And I always say pitching will get you really deep into the playoffs, if not win you the World Series. And they've had Zach Allen now for several years. He's been their ace. Now they have Corbin Burns. They have Brandon Pfaadt that I really like. He has some really good off-speed stuff. They have good hitters. They picked up Graven in the bullpen. They have a lot of really good players this year, and the Diamondbacks have the experience of getting to the World Series and knowing what it's like not to win it. So I think the Diamondbacks are going to come this year. They have a really tough division with the Dodgers and the Padres, but I'm expecting them to play really well. They don't really have to win the division because they got to the World Series as a wild card team. So as long as they get into the dance, pick up, momentum at the right time, I think this team could be very dangerous.
Exactly what I would say if I covered them too.
Now it's your turn. Sorry for that.
All right. So my first choice was originally the Diamondbacks, but my second choice was definitely the Texas Rangers. Everyone's healthy again. Everyone's back, basically. Jacob deGrom is back. He missed half the 2023 season, and he spent his time training AAA in that 2024 season, but he is back and healthy, hopefully for the rest of the season, starting from March, ending in November, whenever, if they even make it to the postseason, which I think they will. Like I said, he had Tommy John surgery. He's looking pretty good in spring training. He, I believe, won when he pitched. I forgot which game it was, but also Corey Seager is back, and I would say that's the Rangers' best player right now. He's always been a great hitter. I've admired him for so long now. He's a great fielder too. And when he joined the Texas Rangers, they won the World Series. I mean, he was there. And they also just signed Jock Peterson from the Diamondbacks, who hits at least 23 home runs each season of the last 6 seasons he's been in. And they also just got Jake Berger. I forget if it was either a trade or a free agency from the Marlins, and he is a very good hitter also. So I don't know what they'll do with the lineup, if they'll have Jake and then like all three like batting one after the other. But if that's the case, there's going to be lots of damaging with the Texas Rangers. But if it's one after the other, just two, it still will be fine. It's just like Juan Soto batting before Aaron Judge.
Okay. So I went with the Royals. When you got a guy like Bobby Witt Jr., you know you're going to have a good season. He's the first shortstop with multiple 30-30 seasons, so I think he immediately just has a one-up on a lot of players. He was second for MVP last year. And then when you have pitchers like Cole Reagans, you have Seth Lugo, you have Kyle Wright, I think they have a rotation that can be pretty solid, pretty strong. And then when you look at it, they also just traded for versatile player in Jonathan India, who defense is a little rocky, but he can hit you some home runs. He can get himself on base. And I think when you put all of this together, you can have a pretty strong team. I mean, last year they made the postseason for the first time since 2015 when they won the World Series. They they also are under not very competitive AL East, so I feel like AL Central. So they have a pretty strong. It's really like the Twins and like the Tigers, stuff like that. So I feel like they have a pretty strong way of getting in. And like I said, Bobby Witt Jr. He's gonna win MVP.
Maybe this will be his year.
This will be his year. Don't.
Going to finish off, makes me very sad to say it, but I think the Boston Red Sox, it's finally time for them to be back in the postseason party. Last time was 2021 when they had a 2-1 lead on the Astros in the ALCS. Didn't get a strike 3 call, and it all fell apart from there. But I think they've got the best lineup in the American League, especially with the Yankees not having Giancarlo Stanton. They've got this man, Jarren Duran. They've got Alex Bregman, who's going to kill the monster. I really did want to draft him in fantasy this year. I thought I had a good draft, but Alex Bregman, I think he's going to have a career year. He has great numbers in Fenway Park. The rotation's not looking so hot right now, but I really think the Red Sox, I think that they're my World Series pick this year. Their lineup, they have all the young stars. They got Duran, Wilyer Abreu. They still have Rafael Devers, who can still hit, even though he's being moved off of third base to DH. But yeah, I think it'll be a great year for the Red Sox fans as they win their 5th championship of the 21st century.
That's a hot take.
Yeah, I don't like that take.
That's a hot take.
I don't either.
Dang.
Yeah, I don't know if the Red Sox have that, but
Rafael Devers is just saving the Red Sox at this point. I mean, Jarren Duran, I love him too. He's doing the same, but
they're definitely a postseason team. There's a lot of good teams,
like
and
Alex Bregman.
I don't think they beat the Dodgers in the World Series. I don't think the Mets are going to get there, but I still think the Mets probably beat them if they're in the World Series. The Phillies, I think, definitely beat them in the World Series. So, but we'll see.
Yeah. All right. Well, now it's time to play Guess the International Star.
I'd be so bad at this.
I think. So we get hints as far as I'm aware.
Probably facts.
Yeah. Oh, I know who this is. I'm gonna see if you guys can get it, but I know who this is.
Is this Julio?
No.
No,
2001. 2001.
I saw 2021
Yeah.
for some reason. I don't know.
Remember?
I feel like I know who it is, but I might be wrong.
I know who it is. I'm just gonna see if you guys can get it.
I don't remember the name, but if I see it, I'll remember it.
You guys got any guesses?
I have a couple.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Retired in
with
2019. Jeez.
He just made the Hall of Fame.
Is it Ichiro?
This
It's Ichiro, right?
Yeah.
Was it
It's
Ichiro?
Ichiro.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I
just didn't want to say it out loud, but I was like, it's Ichiro. Yeah.
What threw me off there is I didn't realize he retired in 2019.
Yeah.
He played for that
I forgot.
long.
Because I'm thinking about the Yankees when he left. Because I was like, oh, is that when he retired?
No. He retired in 18, then came back, played a couple games in Japan to start 2019.
Yeah, that's what got me. I knew the 18,
okay.
not the 19.
Man, it feels like it's been longer than that, but.
All right, we have more. Signed by the Twins in 2007.
Wait.
Ooh.
Currently with the Red
Currently
Sox?
with the Red
Currently,
Sox?
ooh. Two-time reliever of the year.
Why do I know this? But I don't know the name.
Oh my god, this one's actually hard.
Where's Kenley Jansen right now?
That's what I was thinking. But
I was thinking
2007,
No, he's on the Angels.
He's on
I've
the
seen the
Angels.
lineup 1,000 times on the Red Sox. I'm so surprised I don't know what the name is.
Oh wait, is it Aroldis Chapman?
That's got to be what it is.
No
That's got to
way.
be what it is. Yeah.
I think it is.
Is he with the Red Sox?
No,
he's
Hendricks.
He's with the.
I saw Aroldis Chapman. I was in Florida last week for
Yeah.
spring training. I was within 15 feet.
He
of
signed
Aroldis
with the Red
Chapman
Sox,
last week.
right?
He is on the Red
He's
Sox.
on the
I
Red
was
Sox,
within
so it's
15 feet of the guy last
Not
week.
a big fan
Internal
of him.
bullpen. Me neither.
Okay.
It took me. It's because I didn't want to
I
get
do
kicked
not
out. That's
remember
why I
him
didn't
at
want to.
That was tough.
Drafted by the Astros in 2009.
He's currently on the
Currently on
Dodgers. Dodgers.
Two-time World Series winner. So I'm going to assume he just won last year.
Well, he's with them.
Well,
then,
he's
yeah.
with them. Well, he could have been traded or free
off-season
agent.
addition, but
Blake Snell. Wait, no.
No,
He's a
not.
pitcher.
And he was not drafted as a
He only has one championship too. Or he wasn't there last year. He doesn't have any.
No, he doesn't have any.
Because that's, if we're thinking about,
Played for
like,
four
He played for 4
teams.
teams. So I'm assuming the
Wait,
Astros are
Snell
1.
played with, like, 3, right?
But he doesn't have any championships.
Oh, okay.
Jason Hayward's on the
That's what I
Dodgers
was
anymore, right? I don't think
It's
he
not
is.
Kiki or...
No, Jason
obviously it's not
Hayward was a
Kiki.
Brave
was a
start of his
Brave,
career.
yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah. All right, let's see what it is.
I think we'll pass on this one.
This is bad.
This is really
It's rough.
bad.
Kiki Hernandez.
I just said Kiki Hernandez.
Okay, I'll give it to you. But I didn't even know he was on the Astros. Drafted by the Astros.
Man.
He must not. He must have been traded in the minor leagues.
Wow.
Oh my god, I was like,
stuff.
Kiki?
Yeah.
That's insane.
All right, time to
Okay.
move on to the Oakland A's, who are now just the Athletics, which I think is stupid. They should be called the Sacramento A's. They're the first team in modern baseball history to play without a location name. And they'll be in Sacramento for the next 3 seasons until the Las Vegas Stadium gets built. That's the plan for them. What do we think about everything that's happening with them and how they're going to fare playing in Sacramento instead of Oakland?
I mean, I think obviously it sucks that they're out of Oakland, right? I mean, you never like to see a franchise leave its city, but the reality is it all comes down to money. And when you're not making the money, then you can't stay. And so, you know, I'm not blaming Athletics fans, but I am blaming Athletics fans. If you show up, even though your team stinks, right? Like you keep. I mean, listen. The reality is, like, I wish they stayed in Oakland, and now they're going to be stuck in Sacramento, which kind of. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the thing, but the reality is when they get to Vegas, they're going to have a huge fan base, I think. They're obviously going to reboot. They had a pretty good free agency, in my opinion. They signed. My favorite signing was Luis Severino from the Mets. I like that guy a lot.
They're spending money now that they don't have to.
He's doing
make
better.
Oakland
They
fans
brought
happy
back
anymore.
Brent
Yeah.
Rooker. They brought back Ben Rooker. They spent money on him.
No, they'll be good.
Yeah.
I mean, good, relatively good compared to how
Extended
good
Lawrence
they've been.
Butler.
but-
Yeah.
Extended Lawrence
Yeah.
Butler.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of funny that they're just now spending money that they've left Oakland. Now, I did hear recently that the Players Association was going to file a grievance if their payroll was under, I think it was $105 million, which I think there should be a salary floor. I'm fine that there's no salary cap. I think that teams should not have to. I think if certain owners want to spend more money to pressure other owners into spending money, that's their right. They have the
Dodgers
money.
are abusing that.
Dude, that's because
I
they're
agree with
smart.
you.
Any owner could do that. Hal
Yeah.
Steinbrenner could do that, but he
Steve
doesn't.
Cohen could do it.
Steve Cohen could do it, but he doesn't. Like, Juan Soto tied the Mets up financially. Shocker, you give a guy $51 million and you can't spend any other money. But we're not talking about Juan Soto. We're talking about the Oakland A's. How do you think they're going to do this season?
Honestly, I have no clue.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine a team playing without like its own city name and like
Right.
in Sacramento like to begin with. Honestly, like I know they did spend money this season, but like honestly, like I genuinely I can't even predict anything.
And
'cause
especially in
it's,
the
like,
American League West, which has been Houston's division for
yeah,
what seems
exactly.
like forever
like
now.
there's no way they're gonna make
But-
a run.
And Texas
Yeah.
is good.
Like,
Seattle's good.
One season isn't gonna do that for you.
It's just crazy to me that back in the 70s, they were the team.
Right.
They were on fire. They won 3 consecutive World Series
They're
in
the
a
only-
row.
they're the only team besides the Yankees to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They were the
So-
first team to do that, which
Besides
is crazy.
besides the Yankees.
Like, what would you think? That's crazy.
Yeah, they were just so iconic.
And they won the 5 consecutive American League West Division titles, 3 pennants. And overall, like you said, it was just due to poor attendance, poor revenue. The stadium was outdated. They
Right.
never
They've
made
had
any
this-
updates.
they never
to
same
updated
it.
stadium,
anything,
yeah.
yeah.
Same
Cheap
stadium for
ownership.
55 years.
Yeah.
Cheap ownership.
Yeah, you know.
And past that point, after like their big like wowza effect, they became the black sheep of baseball.
Right.
They always plummeted. They did terrible. The team struggled, and the organization struggled overall because of that. The last time like they did pretty well was the Moneyball trick, as we see in the movie Moneyball.
Yeah.
And honestly, with the poor attendance, it just reminds me of the movie Major League in the beginning when there's only like 5 people in Cleveland Indians.
Yeah.
So you also have
that's
to
a
think,
classic.
in 2021, they were over 500. They
Yeah.
had teams, and then they got rid
Yeah.
of Matt Olson, which was a big thing, because then he went
That's
to...
That's what
No,
they do.
Matt Olson's doing good
Yeah,
now.
They
he's
got
on
rid
the
of Matt
Braves
Chapman.
now.
They got rid of Marcus Simeon. They got,
They treated all their good
they
players.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because they couldn't afford to pay them.
Exactly.
Or couldn't afford to pay them. But what does this mean now? What does this mean for a team like the Tampa Bay Rays, who they're going to play in the Yankees spring training facility for 2025 and maybe beyond, because their plans to build a new stadium fell through? And I went to George M. Steinbrenner Field last week. It's a nice stadium. It is not a Major League Baseball regular season stadium.
I also think that's way lost in money. Like, there's not as many seats.
They haven't even sold out their home opener yet. There's only like 10,000 people in that stadium.
Different.
They're hitting too because every stadium has like different like distances with like hitting home runs. How many feet is this? So they could be hit. I don't know how long it is, how many feet like it takes to hit a home run, but they could be doing nothing. They could be doing a lot. It could be easy for them. It's just going to be like a mess all around.
And like the other 29 teams that have to play them in that ballpark, they don't want to play their season in a spring training complex. They want to play in an actual Major League stadium.
I will say it is better than a dome because I've heard so many controversies with the raised dome.
I don't like the Trop. I don't like Aaron Judge got an injury there.
Yes, exactly.
I don't like Tropicana Field at all. I think it's an eyesore. But
I don't agree with domes overall.
I don't like domes to begin with. I think it's baseball. Play it outside.
Play outside. It's in the summer too.
Baseball used to be crazy about domes. The Mariners used to play in a dome. The Astros used to play in a dome.
And then they figured out, no, that's not helpful.
I don't like it.
Yep.
Like
and
back
don't
to
they have like
athletics.
fake turf also?
Like
the
retractable roofs are so much better because it helps you. It shields you from the rain. But if you want to, if it's a nice day out, you can open the roof.
Don't the Saints have that?
I think so. I think so.
I might
I'm
be
not too
wrong,
familiar with. I think Saints play in a dome.
It's just a
dome.
dome.
NFL players play.
Yeah.
Someone has
Seahawks have one.
Okay,
a bunch of teams have one, but the Seahawks are coming to mind. But this is a baseball show.
Going back to the A's, I feel like if you're playing for the A's right now or the Rays, like you can't be thrilled. But I mean, for your athletics, obviously after this stadium gets built in Vegas, like I definitely would want to be. If I was a player, I'd love to play there. I mean, you're getting to play in Vegas. Obviously, it comes with a whole bunch of stuff. Obviously, I'm sure coaches are gonna have to be very, strict with their players' regimes and stuff. But the reality is, like, it's a new obviously the Athletics are older franchise, but in a new city. I'd love to be playing there the first year they open up, and I think it's going to be, great for baseball. They obviously make a lot of money, but again, super sad it's out of Oakland. But
it would feel like a start over, because the past couple years, obviously they have not been like the greatest team in baseball, but they get a little do-over, kind of, sort of like.
I feel like that'd be good.
I feel like it's a change of scenery. Like players need change of scenery, teams need them. I guess too.
It'll be a great update because they, not the greatest stadium, the Oakland Athletics, but. They need to do good. If they want, you're in Vegas. Like that's like one of the biggest places for like shows like that. You need to do good. You need to draw in money. Like train your players,
get a lot of money in Vegas.
Fire staff, get new staff. Just you need to be good.
I mean, if you want to look at the Raiders, they've been in Vegas for 5 years now. They've made one playoff appearance, so it doesn't really. But I just feel bad for Oakland in general because in the last half decade, they've lost the Warriors, the A's, and the Raiders. Yeah. It's like they don't have anything left. It's like you like they could say, oh, just go over the Bay to San Francisco. They don't want to do that. They get a rivalry with San Francisco. They don't want to do that.
They're lazy.
They're not. That's not.
Oakland's lazy.
Yeah.
Then again, it's. I feel like a lot of it comes down to the fans too, right? I mean, all of it comes down to money, right? And the fans are responsible for making some revenue for the teams. Like, I never hear anything about how crazy Oakland A's or Oakland fans in general are, right? I mean. When the Warriors were there, obviously that was huge. Right. But the reality is, like, you don't see teams leaving New York or Philadelphia or Washington D.C. or L.A. Like,
it's because they play in a terrible stadium. It's played in a terrible stadium, and the product hasn't been good. And why would you? It's hard to support a team that offloads its cast of stars every 5 years because their cheap ownership doesn't want to spend the money to keep them. Yeah. And I think especially their first couple years in Vegas, no matter how nice the stadium is, you are going to see a similar effect to what the Chargers deal with, where they get no home support because a large contingent of their fan base is mad that they're not in Oakland anymore. Yeah. And I think you're going to see that a lot over the next 3 years. Their attendance is not going to be good.
I will say, though, Oakland fans were loyal going to those games.
I know.
Yeah.
But I think you really had to be a diehard if you went to an Oakland A's game.
There was definitely diehards.
Especially when the team was not good. But anyway, that's all the time we have for 360 Sports. It's been a fun week. We will see you next week on Monday. That's it.